Very, very personal.
Where does it say that you can't kill a cop?
Come on, Mikey.
Tom, wait a minute. I'm talking about a cop that's mixed up in drugs. I'm talking about a dishonest cop, a crooked cop who got mixed up in the rackets and got what was coming to him. That's a terrific story. And we have newspaper people on the payroll, don't we, Tom? They might like a story like that.
They might. They just might.
It's not personal, Sonny. It's strictly business.
The Godfather has so many things that I could talk about, from the script to the editing, but I'm going to focus on the lighting. But specifically, how the lighting really changed the movie. People use lighting as a powerful tool in so many films, such as Schindler's List or Citizen Kane, but there is something specifically about the lighting that makes each scene more significant to me as an audience member. Like the general understanding of light, in The Godfather, the light is a significant symbol of darkness within the characters, and I want to focus on that in regards to the Godfather's son, Michael. Throughout the film, we see a transition that he goes through. He starts off the film in the light, and he says he's not like his family. He distances himself away from his family, and clearly does so as he had gone to war, but as soon as he comes back, things go bad. After his father was shot, we see a pattern of darkness cover Michael, from the clothes he wears to the lighting he stands in. In regards to his clothes, we consistently see him wearing clothes that are darker tones, but not as dark as compared to those that are worn by his brothers and his father. The specific moment that we don't see him wearing any dark clothes is this brief moment of happiness, which is while he's in Sicily. The white shirt, the blue and gray tones, all of it translating to a change in his mood. But we'll get into more of that later. Now for the lighting, it is a fairly obvious thing, but one thing important to focus on is that we see Michael consistently has half of his face covered with a shadow. For the majority of the film, he never seems to be totally submerged in the dark. This connects to him not being fully in his family's business. He always just had one foot in and one foot out. Along with that, there's always a shadow over his eyes. He never sees things in a greater light, and instead always sees the bad. If his eyes are in the darkness, how is he supposed to see any good in his life or in his family's business? He just can't. The main shift is after his father is shot. Later, he begins to partake in the family's business, which evidently changes him, and that is definitely clear through the way the shadows cover him. This shows exactly how his darkness takes over him. Along with that, the shadows and his emotions have changed. He simply has no emotion, almost as if he's left empty after taking over the business that he didn't even want to be from the very beginning. But things change for a little bit of time for Michael. After killing a man, to stay safe, he runs away to Sicily to give him some time and peace. Not only are there bright and blue skies, he himself is different as well. There is never this consistent shadow over him. He's smiling, talking with others. He's completely different without his family. It's just at the end of his time in Sicily, that's when there's a big wake-up call for him. At that time, we see Michael change into darker clothes, and along with that, he again has this shadow over his eyes. It stays there for the entirety of the scene, and along for the rest of the film, but it's important to notice it here. Along with that, we then see him go to one of his guards, and that man was sitting in complete darkness. Later, once Michael comes downstairs to meet his wife in a black car, he's still covered by a shadow. Then, the car blew up, killing his wife, and leaving him again in complete darkness and totally alone. His final transition into his family business is towards the end of the film. After coming back from Sicily, he gets married to his previous girlfriend from the beginning of the film and carries on with the business. But there's a noticeable change in Michael. He becomes serious. He again has that shadow over his eyes, and he's always in complete darkness. He's a different man now compared to how he was at the beginning. He's wearing these darker colors. He has no emotion on his face. He's just in the dark completely. And at the end of the film, he sits in the same office as his father did, with the same shadows casted over his eyes just as his father. He is now the Godfather.